The man aimed his gun at a wild deer, but when he pulled the trigger, he hit a little boy instead. Both of them were stunned, unable to believe what had happened. They thought it was a hallucination, but when they rushed over, they realized that it was indeed a little boy who had been hit. He knelt down on both knees and tried to wake the boy up. However, the boy, who had been shot in the forehead, was already dead. Just as he didn't know what to do, the boy's father arrived. Seeing his son lying dead on the ground, the old father's heart sank. Looking at the man who had killed his son, he resolutely picked up the gun on the ground. He was going to avenge his son, but before he could fire, a bullet pierced his heart. It was his friend Anton who had fired the gun. To protect his good friend Nick, he had no choice but to kill the witness. In the blink of an eye, 2 young lives were lost. At that moment, Nick was already terrified and disoriented. He never imagined that they had come hunting, and ended up becoming murderers by accident. However, his friend Anton remained unusually calm. He dragged the 2 bodies into the bushes, then pulled the dazed Nick away. Driving away from the scene of the crime, Nick's mind went blank, and he had no idea what to do next. But Anton drove the car into the northern forest to continue hunting. Confused, Nick hurriedly asked why. It turned out that he wanted to create the illusion that they hadn't been hunting in that forest. Moreover, they couldn't run away now. If they fled in fear of punishment, it would prove that they were the murderers. Now they could only continue to pretend. At midnight, they would secretly go and dispose of the bodies. Then they would leave the town. After hearing Anton's explanation, Nick had no choice but to comply. To create an alibi, the 2 drove to a nearby town, entered a small shop to become familiar with the place, and deliberately revealed to the owner that they had been hunting there. After doing all this, the 2 returned to their lodging. It was not until the dead of night that they drove to the forest where the incident had occurred, to secretly bury the body under cover of darkness. After some effort, they packed all the evidence into bags and placed them in the trunk. They then rushed back to the inn. They thought no one would see them at such a late hour, but when Nick turned around, he noticed a young boy staring at him from upstairs. Seeing that the boy was just a child, they didn't think much of it and returned to the inn. Due to their exhaustion, when they woke up, the sun was already high in the sky. As they hurriedly packed their luggage, a commotion erupted downstairs at the inn. Anton cautiously peered out the window and discovered that their tires had been punctured by villagers. With several burly men gathered around the car,